Dozens of dogs rescued from a southern Kentucky home. So many dogs that volunteers can't keep up. You'll hear their plea for help.
Coming up, we'll tell you what people in Powell County are doing to remember a Marine killed in a crash earlier this year.
I trusted the guy to honor his word and do what he said he would do.
You're going to want to hear this man's story before you take a phone call from a coin dealer interested in buying your old coins. What you need to know coming up.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. They are putting together a makeshift shelter. Tonight, shelter leaders in Laurel County are overwhelmed trying to take care of more than 150 dogs.
Now, police say the dogs were living in horrible conditions at the home of a director for an animal rescue group. Stephanie Fields has been charged with animal cruelty, and the dogs were taken from the home to the Laurel County Fairgrounds. Miranda Combs shows us how you can help the dogs in our top story at 5:30.
Let's get your cage clean, huh?
He is one of 178 dogs seized.
We'll just call him Baby.
She is one in a group of volunteers trying to make their lives better.
It breaks my heart.
We found the conditions that the dogs were in, which were unacceptable.
Trooper John Pratt was the one that found the dogs living with Stephanie Fields, director of Homeward Bound Rescue in London.
As far as animal cruelty, this is beyond what I could comprehend. I mean, it was horrible.
He arrested Fields, and now the community has stepped in. This is the inside of a building at the Laurel County Fairgrounds.
I think he wants to go for a walk. So we're going to give him a quick walk.
There's no running water, and the heaters are portable. The manpower is tough to keep up.
We need warm bodies to come help walk the dogs, socialize the dogs, feed them, water them. I mean, cleaning up after 130 dogs is a huge undertaking.
They also say they can't keep them under this roof for long. They need foster homes. The dogs can't be adopted until the criminal case is resolved, but they can be fostered.
It's just, you know, the volunteer capacity just isn't there to keep this going for much longer.
Yeah, if you can let someone know to make sure it has one.
She's been here for 3 of the 4 days the makeshift shelter's been in operation. She's tired, but isn't going to leave until these dogs find new homes. In Laurel County, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
A very difficult situation, as you can see there. Besides volunteers, check out our website for a list of items that the makeshift shelter really needs.
Police in southeastern Kentucky say a fight between siblings ended with a woman attacking her brother with a hatchet. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Letcher County. The fight happened about 7:45 last night on Bee Tree Road. Police say 47-year-old Melissa Eldridge hit her brother Robbie Dunn in the arm with a hatchet. Eldridge told police that Dunn and her children were arguing and that Dunn was getting aggressive. She said Dunn left, came back, and started fighting with her husband and children. That's when troopers say Eldridge hit Dunn with the hatchet. Troopers tell us Dunn had non-life-threatening injuries. Eldridge has been charged with assault. In Boone County, 3 men face charges tonight for child pornography. State police arrested the men over the weekend. 41-year-old Charles Waller and 38-year-old Joshua Rose are still in the Boone County jail. 36-year-old Bradley Lewis was also arrested but is no longer listed on the jail roster. All 3 are charged with 1 count of possession of matter portraying a sex performance by a minor. State police started investigating the men when they saw pictures of the children being shared online. And in Pendleton County, a former police chief will be on probation for the next 3 years for theft and abuse of public trust. Mark Lane Posey was sentenced today. He pled guilty to the charges in October. The state attorney general's office says Posey took more than $10,000 from a drug task force fund. He was chief of police in Falmouth at the time. He will also pay $16,000 in restitution and can no longer work in law enforcement.
He lived to serve, and even after his death, his family is finding a way to serve others through his legacy. 23-year-old Tyler Brewer was a Marine. He was killed back in January during a crash on Black Creek Road in Powell County. New at 5:30, Mike Linden shows us how his parents and friends have found a way to honor him.
It's been nearly a year since Tyler Brewer died when the truck he was driving crashed. To keep his memory alive, friends organized a blood drive in Stanton today.
It hit home hard, and one of the many lessons that I learned from him is that you just never know when the good or the bad is going to come, and that definitely was bad, but we're trying to make some good out of it.
Partnered with the Kentucky Blood Center, people from all over the county came to donate blood in Tyler's memory. Chelsea says she got the idea for the blood drive just from simply having grown up with Tyler here in Powell County. She says he was always the kind of person that wanted to do good by people and was always very caring. Tyler's mother says she's still in disbelief over losing her son.
It doesn't get easier, but doing things like the blood drive help a lot. If you can help other people, it helps.
Even though Tyler is gone, his friends and family say it helps to know people can come together and support one another for the greater good, much like the former Marine did for his country.
No matter what action you do that's good, no matter how small it may seem, it may actually be really big. I know it doesn't seem like donating blood is a lot, but you could actually save somebody's life.
In Powell County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
An important thought there. If you would like to donate blood through the Kentucky Blood Center, go to WKYT.com and click on this story.
Well, if you were dreaming of a white Christmas, well, maybe next year.
Keep dreaming, right? All right, we're tracking a wet and a very warm Christmas week here in the Bluegrass. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, that we are, guys. Record high temperatures likely to be set on more than one occasion over the next week, and we may finish this next 7-day period with several inches of rain as well. It is March here for Christmas week. That's basically it in a nutshell. Late in March at that. Defender radar network with showers that have been on and off for the better part of the day. More on than off. And where we're seeing the areas of yellow and even a little bit of orange into parts of south central Kentucky. That's where the rains are really beginning to ramp back up. Look at that action heading toward Richmond and Berea, back toward the west into Lancaster, Danville, Stanford, Nicholasville, and Lexington. More of a misty shower that is ongoing now, but look what's lurking to the southwest in Nashville. Notice the lightning strikes that are showing up. That's right, don't be surprised if later tonight we don't hear a little rumble of thunder across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. Weather headlines as we roll ahead. Heavy rain, some thunderstorms coming at us in waves. Not going to be the constant rain. Record high temperatures likely to fall at some point over the next week. Guys, when I come back in a few minutes, we will walk you through what may be one of the warmest and wettest Christmas weeks on record.
Thank you, Chris. After hearing all of that, it sure doesn't feel like winter is almost here, but the fall forest fire hazard season is officially over. The Kentucky Division of Forestry says this year was one of the lowest for reported wildfires. Since January of this year, firefighters battled 735 fires across the state that burned more than 18,000 acres. The Division of Forestry is still asking Kentuckians to use caution when burning anything outside.
A warning tonight for UK basketball fans trying to get their hands on some tickets. The Better Business Bureau tells us they've seen an increase in counterfeit tickets. Only tickets purchased directly through the UK Ticket Office, Rupp Arena Box Office, Ticketmaster, Ticket Exchange, or UK Fast Pass are guaranteed to be valid. But if it comes down to using a secondary market, the BBB recommends sites like StubHub because of their policies.
Some of them do have fan guarantee policies, Fan Protect, where you do get your money back if the tickets don't arrive on time or if they turn out to be no good.
The Better Business Bureau also says if the ticket price is too good to be true, it probably is. They also say another warning sign is if someone doesn't want to meet you in person to get the tickets to you.
Well, some of us have them tucked away in envelopes or drawers, old coins that could be worth hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars or more. But as you will see now, there are con men out there looking to rip you off. Here's one story with a valuable lesson.
Out of the blue, I started getting calls from coin dealers and metal salesmen.
Which sparked Jack's curiosity about the value of his old coins. He began describing them to Robert Gundy over the phone.
I really don't know what their value is right now because they're old and they haven't been evaluated by a real professional.
Gundy seemed knowledgeable and trustworthy, so Jack sent his coins to their company, Crescent Equity. Jack didn't expect the next call he received. It was from local police letting him know that Gundy and his colleague, Jay Flynn, had been arrested for defrauding clients.
I trusted the guy to honor his word and do what he said he would do, and instead he just grabbed the coins as soon as they hit town.
Jack then did his own research, too late to save him from being conned.
And I did look him up on the internet and saw that he had quite a record. lengthy record. He'd been in and out of scams for years.
Inspectors began following bank records and interviewing victims and quickly learned everything was gone.
It's devastating to the victims. We're talking about retired individuals that lost their retirement, and they don't have the ability to make that money up again.
Jack says he believes he lost at least $12,000 in coins and has learned a lesson the hard way.
My big failing was not to check this guy out thoroughly before I dealt with him.
Another piece of advice, do not send coins away for evaluations. Take them in person to a local dealer. Robert Gundy was sentenced last month to more than 3 years in prison, and he was ordered to pay more than $400,000 in restitution to his victims. Republican Congressman Andy Barr is encouraging people to switch parties before the end of the year.
And a Republican presidential candidate is calling it quits. Bill Bryant tells us why Senator Lindsey Graham is dropping out in the bottom line.
Good evening. Central Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr, who is a Republican, is actively encouraging people to switch parties ahead of the GOP presidential caucus being held in early March. Barr tweeted on his campaign account that the deadline to switch parties in Kentucky is December 31st. With the attention of the March 5th caucus, including candidates likely to campaign here, Republicans think they can take advantage of a trend that has already emerged of lots of longtime Kentucky Democrats becoming Republicans. The Republican presidential field shrank by 1 today. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham announced he is ending his presidential campaign. The voting is set to begin in a few weeks, but Graham says he has, quote, hit a wall. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is also running way back in the polls, but he says he doesn't believe the polls, and he's calling frontrunner Donald Trump unelectable in November. Kentucky's other senator, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, won't say who he favors for president, but on CNN's State of the Union, McConnell said the Senate would not act on Trump's proposed ban on Muslims coming to the U.S.
We're not going to follow that suggestion that this particular candidate made. It would prevent the president of Afghanistan from coming to the United States. The king of Jordan couldn't come to the United States. Obviously, we're not going to do that.
Senator McConnell was pressed for his choice for the White House, but he says he is not focused on the presidential campaign. Kentucky Democrats still getting their bearings after their losses in November. The party is trying to figure out who will be the next chairman. Former Chairman Jerry Lundergan of Lexington is among those apparently expressing interest in running the party. A search committee is being formed as required by the Democratic Party rules. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
It is a big day for UPS. Tomorrow, the company is getting ready for its busiest shipping day of the year.
Boy, are they. UPS plans to deliver 36 million packages tomorrow, which is about 1 million more than last year. Today, employees at the massive UPS shipping facility in Louisville are working hard sorting packages. As many as 4 million packages will make their way through the facility by tonight. It's a busy time, but employees say it creates a bond with their coworkers.
We all work together great. We spend so much time together. It's kind of like we become friends and family almost.
UPS processes up to 416,000 packages an hour. Typically, it takes about 13 minutes for a package to travel the facility's web of belts and chutes.